The Legend of Zelda is a series that needs no introduction, spanning 20 titles over the past 40 years or so, putting you in the boots of our silent hero, Link, and usually tasking you with rescuing Princess Zelda. Echoes of Wisdom takes this tried and true premise and takes a huge risk by taking away that sword and shield and giving you control of Zelda herself to attempt to save Hyrule. What's it like? Don your cloak, get your tri-rod, and exercise your brain muscles as we review The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom for Nintendo Switch. Before we jump into this review, would you mind summoning the like and subscribe button? It's the best way to help What's It Like get found in the rift of YouTube, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. I also want to take a moment to thank those who voted on the thumbnail. I know I'm going to get some angry comments from gamers who don't know I'm being sarcastic, but I think it's all in great fun. Echoes of Wisdom tells a new tale of how Hyrule is under threat by strange rifts that are opening up and swallowing large sections of the world, including its people. As Princess Zelda, you barely escape one of these rifts with your life, and you set out to save Hyrule from this calamity. The story took some twists and turns, and I won't be talking too much about it here because I want you to experience a lot of those moments spoiler free. What I will say is there are old familiar friends who return to help you on your quest, as well as new friends to meet. And one such new friend is Tri, a magical being who plays a huge role in Echoes of Wisdom by creating the Tri-Rod, a special artifact that allows you to summon echoes. These echoes are copied items and enemies in the world and form the backbone of the new core mechanics of gameplay. From the humble and possibly the most useful echo in the form of the bed, to a mace-wielding combat knight, and even sharks. You will grow a collection of echoes that can fight for you or provide you with a hasty escape from a hairy situation. While it's true that echoes may serve a primary function, much like we saw in Tears of the Kingdom, these functions are more like suggestions, and the player is really only limited by their imagination of how to use them. The world is littered with hidden treasures and interesting shortcuts that can open up if you know a clever trick or two. There are also a lot of thoughtful elements of gameplay like unlocking fast travel shrines, collectible stamps to hunt down, and that Pokemon-like mentality of trying to get every echo you can. Classic-style dungeons make a triumphant return in Echoes of Wisdom that house some devious puzzles and unique boss battles. It follows the tested formula of finding silver keys, boss keys, and maps in order to close the bigger rift, whereas smaller rifts might have some mini-challenges. Some areas may have a couple of mini dungeons to battle through to unlock the main challenge, and some just let you waltz right into the main dungeon right away. This pacing is handled rather well, and despite some minor backtracking, which is made easier by fast travel, no area seems to really outstay its welcome. What does change in Echoes of Wisdom compared to the other games is just how many ways you can solve a dungeon and its puzzles. After my first few dungeons, I stopped thinking like a traditional Legend of Zelda player and started thinking about what's a fun and unique way to tackle this objective. This is Echoes of Wisdom's greatest strength, and it gives you the freedom to experiment in both combat and environmental challenges to overcome adversity. The same principle also applies to boss fights. Using boulders to block projectiles or summoning a horde of echoes to attack, it really just depends on how you want to play the game. Echoes of Wisdom is rendered in the Link's Awakening remake engine with a gorgeous chibi art style that manages to play homage to the original NES, SNES, and Game Boy titles, but also manages to stand out on its own with gorgeously detailed environments, thoughtful world design, and interesting enemies. The game will sometimes seamlessly switch between its top-down 3D look to side-scrolling areas with puzzles to solve, and it's all just really well done. Just when you think you have a bead on what's going on, Echoes of Wisdom adds a new echo or thread to follow, opening up more possibilities, including the ability to assume Link's form for a very short burst of time, which can be upgraded along with your damage output. Some players may find comfort in this familiarity, but others might prefer to just attack bosses and problems the Zelda way, and that's okay. Really, the only thing I can criticize Echoes of Wisdom on is the performance, which is woefully inconsistent. For the most part, Echoes of Wisdom runs at a solid 30 frames per second, but will occasionally dip to around the 20 FPS mark for no apparent reason, and this is mainly in the overworld. It's a similar problem to Link's Awakening, which probably hints towards a base engine issue that most likely won't get patched. The slowdown didn't really take away anything from my experience. It was strange to see this sort of slowdown in a first-party title, which is usually polished to perfection. For my dungeon divers looking into accessibility options, there are no specific options, so to speak, and I suggest further research to find out if Echoes of Wisdom suits your needs. As I near the end of this review, I just want to share a quick story. It was Echoes of Wisdom launch day last week when I started on this review. My kids' joy could be heard from my son's room, feverishly playing Echoes of Wisdom together. It was my daughter's first Zelda game, and she was relishing the thought of being able to play as Princess Zelda. And I could hear her excitedly call out, "Look at that," while my son gasped with wonder. And they were just thoroughly enjoying themselves. It's that same wonder and magic I felt with my first Zelda game, which was Ocarina of Time, when I first discovered the openness of Hyrule Field. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom seemingly captures that magic that I first felt. It's familiar, but it's also fresh, and its innovative mechanics feel just like the leap that Breath of the Wild took to Tears of the Kingdom. It lovingly gives us a new perspective by seeing Hyrule through Zelda's eyes on an adventure full of awe-inspiring moments, creative freedom, and a whole lot of wisdom. I hope Nintendo never loses that magic that they sprinkle into their games like Echoes of Wisdom that makes it truly special. So, what's it like? Echoes of Wisdom is like A Link to the Past, crossed with Link's Awakening. I award it a 92 out of 100, which makes Echoes of Wisdom a What's It Like certified exceptional game. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by Nintendo Australia, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way you can support me is to like and subscribe and continue watching my content if you enjoy it. But if you do want to go that bit extra, you can buy me a coffee or join our Patreon, which shows you behind the scenes of this channel. Thanks again.